Hey YouTube, today I'm going to teach you how to make a deck, Aries style. Um, every time I've made a deck, it's been pretty fun to play with. Uh, but decks are personal, so some people are looking for ultra super crazy decks that beat anybody and everybody, but the 13 decks that I have are just really fun to play against each other, and if you're looking to start and you want to have a lot of fun, this is the video for you. So a beginner deck usually has 20 Pokemon, 20 energies, and 20 trainers. And some people don't do that for some reason, but it's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I quite like it. Although I use 18, 18, 24. 18 Pokemon, 18 energies, 24 trainers. It works just as good, and you get more trainers out of it. So, um, and sometimes you can, depending on what Pokemon you're putting in there and what Pokemon you have, you can do one more Pokemon and one less energy, or one more energy because your Pokemon might need more energy. Um, it's very specific depending on the deck, but I will teach you uh, how to make one today. We'll make one together. So I might be a little awkward, but please stick with me. In my handy dandy journal here, I say, because I wrote down some notes for this video, I said the first thing you want to do for your deck is pick an inspiration. A card, a Pokemon, a play style, or a type. And that can help you get started on making your deck. So let's pick a card. And um, of course, since this is a YouTube video, I did look through my cards first to see what card I might want to start with. And in the 13 decks that I have, I don't have just a normal fighting type deck for a reason that I will tell you. So fighting types often have limiters, like this attack is strong, but it also does 20 damage to itself, or discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. And I just don't like that, so I've never made a deck with one. So here is my inspiration card. So this Lucario V has Aura Sphere and Beat Down Smash, and it says during your next turn this Pokemon can't use Beat Down Smash. But Aura Sphere was good enough to me with the 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon too, that I thought I would use this card. So we're going to go ahead and take this card out. And now I usually like to pick 2 to 3 really good cards. Some people use doubles of the same card. I don't like to have any doubles in my deck. So, I'll show you what else I'm going to pick. So, it's between Great Tusk and Iron Boulder. But I think we're going to have to go with Iron Boulder because, as you can see, I do have to discard 2 energy from the Pokemon, but Repulsor Axe is really good, and Power Stomp does quite a bit of damage. So these are my 2 really good cards. And you can pick 3. So later, if we need to pick another Pokemon, I'll definitely pick Great Tusk. But for now, let's move on to the next step. So we've picked our big cards, but you could have picked a small card or a Pokemon that you just really wanted to center your deck around. That's cool too. Or based on what you have. If you only have a few things, then that's okay. Duh. Like, the whole point is to have fun and make a deck. I find making decks extremely fun. So, here's the next step. So, I have, we're going to build around these 2 cards. And you want to have one big evolution line, if you can, where it's 3 of the first evolution, 2 of the second, and 1 of the third evolution, and then 2 small ones. So it's 2 Pokemon, or 2 sets of Pokemon. Give me a second. 2 different evolution lines, and they only to evolve once to be their second form, their last form. And then the rest of the Pokemon are going to be hard hitters. Like, you want really powerful normal cards. So I guess let's get started. What I'm going to do is I have a lot of loose leaf cards, and some cards are in binders because I'm sorting my cards by artist right now. So what we're going to do is prioritize using the cards that are in the unsorted binder and the unsorted cards area so that I don't have to unsort any of the cards that I've sorted. So we're going to look through this pile and these two, and then if we can't find anything, if we can't find our whole deck in these, then we're going to go ahead and look through these binders. But for now, we're just going to look through these things. So I'm going to look through and I'm going to tell you some highlights. Like right now I see Palpitoad, 10 damage to each of your benched Pokemon. So that's not good. I would not pick this Pokemon because it does damage to all of my other Pokemon. Also, please ignore the cuticle. I work in a factory. Yippee! So we should probably pick a Riolu for our Lucario. And what I mean by doubles is we would want to have 2 Lucarios and 2 Riolus. So let's see. We've got double smash, 10 damage times the number of heads, so it can do 20 damage at most. Best punch, flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing, but it does 30 damage for 1 energy. Less energy is good, so anytime you can use less energy to do an attack, it is really good. Although the flip a coin. If tails, it does nothing is kind of bad. But I will say one thing about building decks. If you want to have fun, flipping coins, rock, paper, scissors, house rules, crushing hammer, stuff that just messes with your opponent, and make sure you have another deck you make for people to play with you where they can mess with you too. It's just more fun that way. So, anyhow, now we've got detect. Flip a coin. If heads, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon. That can be really good because if I evolve him to Lucario and I used that last turn, then I can't get hurt for a second. And then we've got Smash Punch, flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. And it also does 30 for 1. So we'll keep these in mind. We'll keep these to the side. And let me keep looking. Now, this attack is just wild. If there are 3 or fewer cards in your deck, this attack does 130 more damage. What? I wouldn't pick that. Maybe if I had to pick a Hippopotas. I don't know. No worries, I did not do all of the work. I just threw that one pile, took out all the ones that caught my eye. Usually I would take one of my decks I've already made and lay out all the Pokemon and find a corresponding Pokemon that give me an idea of how much, like how powerful my Pokemon has to be on the same level as my other decks. But today I'm teaching you how to make a deck from scratch. So a Pokemon that caught my eye was this Phanpy, that the attack does 30 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And honestly, I think that's really good. That is a really good attack. Very cute card as well. This ain't too bad. If this is the only card you have, then it can still do a pretty good amount. And then its evolution, obviously that during your next turn this Pokemon can't attack, but you can also discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, which is pretty good because you can get rid of their deck faster, which is a way you can win. I really liked this 3-step strike. Flip 3 coins. This attack does 10 damage for each heads. I thought that was pretty good, seeing as you can get up to 30 damage. This one has Scout, and your opponent can reveal their hand. I would probably pick these two if I was going to pick a Mankey, because these other ones either flip a coin if tails, the attack does nothing, or it does damage to itself. So I would have to look through my other cards and see if maybe there was better ones to evolve from these two. But I'll keep these two to the side with the Phampies as a maybe. Depending on my Machamp, I might be able to do a Machop, Machoke, Machamp as my big evolution line. I like Steady Punch, flip a coin. If heads, his attack does 40 more damage. And Dual Chop is good. Flip 2 coins, his attack does 30 damage for each heads. And then you've got Strength and Seismic Toss. I might see if there's a different Machoke card. And obviously you'd have 2 or 3 Machop, and then 2 Machoke, and 1 Machamp. But we'll keep these guys to the side too. I thought this card was pretty powerful. Discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, and you can do 70 damage just with the first evolution, which is pretty good. The ability on this card doesn't have to do... It does with Registeel, but Tough Swing is also really good on its own. So we're definitely going to keep this as one of the hard hitters. I thought about maybe doing Kabuto and Kabutops. That would be fun if I can find a Kabutops. And then I had Marowak and Baltoy, just because doing 20 for one is usually the best you can do. And Sand Spray for 30. And then I liked this Marowak, Bone Meringue. Flip 2 coins, his attack does 90 damage for each heads. And this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks, which is pretty awesome. So we'll keep these in mind as well. Let's keep looking. You'll never believe it, but it's taken me about an hour to go through all my cards. And I only went through the ones that were in this one, those 2 piles, those 2. Okay, now that I think about it, it makes sense why it took me an hour to go through them. But we've got all these cards. I found a Primeape and an Annihilape that I thought would be pretty good for my Mankeys, so I think I'm going to keep those in. Now, I will say, this one, both active Pokemon are knocked out. That could be good and bad, but it is good because it's an immediate knockout, and I get a prize card. Hee hee. So, plus Tantrum is pretty good for 1 energy, although it is the 3rd evolution. So, sorry, I'm having acid reflux, so my breathing is probably a little heavy. I found more Rhyhorns with really good beginning attacks. So, I'm thinking I'll look for a Rhydon somewhere. I found some really good Riolus. Like, look, 50 for 2 energy. That's awesome. Or even 30 for 2 energy isn't too bad. But yeah, so we're probably going to use those for our Lucario. And we've got some hard hitters here. I found some Cubones. I have this Fearow out just because I thought maybe I'd do use it because of its cool search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them in your hand. But I decided I'll make a bird deck another day. Wouldn't that be fun? A bird deck. So we'll go ahead and put this right there. I also got Krogunk and Toxicroak because I thought that might be good. And I have a grap locked in my other deck, and it's pretty awesome. It has slow acting Cinescope, which knocks your opponent out next turn. So let me go ahead and pick the Pokemon, and then I'll tell you why I picked them. Okay, so all I need to find now is another Dugtrio, another Diglett, another Mankey, another Primeape, another Lucario, another Donphan, and 2 Rhydons. And then after I do that, I will choose my hard hitters. And then we'll be done choosing the Pokemon, and I'll show you each of the cool things about each card. I promise it won't take as long, even though we're 15 minutes into the video. If you're still here, thank you very much. And I'll keep trying to do my best. Okay, it was really difficult. But we have it. They have it. Alright, so peep the hard hitters, the singles, the ones that stand by themselves. Alright, now we've got the evolution lines and the big evolution line. A lot of these attacks don't use a lot of energy. I usually try not to go for attacks that use more than 3 for a large amount. The younglings do a good amount of damage. The base damage of the attack is usually 100, or has a way to get it to get to 100. This one's a bit iffy for me. I don't know if I want it in my deck. But, yes. Your opponent reveals their hand. A lot of fun stuff at play. A lot of fun stuff. So I chose 19 Pokemon because I feel like with the Pokemon that I wanted to put in there, that's pretty good. Although one of those I could get rid of later just in case I need more energy because of how much discard the energy from your hand there is. And for this deck, I'll need to find as many search your deck for an energy, or, as many energy related cards as I can in the trainers. Alright, so an equal amount of each type of trainer would be good. So an equal amount of supporters versus items would be nice. We're going to go for... we need a lot of energy. Give me a second. We'll do 20 trainers, 21 energy. We'll see how that works out. Alright, so... we did it. Whoa. I picked a bunch of item cards and a bunch of supporter cards, and now I'm going to choose them. I chose based off of usefulness and how fun they are. So let's choose our 20 cards. If this isn't already 20 cards. Alright, so I went with 13 items and 7 supporters. We'll see how that goes. A lot of these, we've got some healing, some Pokemon, evolution, and base Pokemon pickups. And then we've got a rare candy, and then some random ones. I usually put more Pokemon tools. I just don't have a lot anymore after making 13 decks. And then this stuff is mess with your person, or mess with the other person, energy, draw cards, Pokemon pickup. So, that should be good. And then we do our energies. Get your energy types of all different kinds, including a shiny one. But yeah, we got some fuzzy ones. We got some old looking ones. We've got, from all different times. And if you want to see me play with this deck, I'm going to put it in sleeves. if you want to see me play with this deck, comment below. And we made a deck together. I hope that you get to make a deck and that you have fun and that you fight with it. And it's awesome.